Then things will be considered with a different angle thanks to Balazs Orbán. He's a Hungarian minister and also the political director of Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, which has such an important role to resist the European globalization and uniformization underway. After a career in research and teaching, he entered politics in 2018. Since 2021, Balazs has been serving as political director under Viktor Orbán, where he bravely defends Hungarian values and way of life against what the European Union would like to enforce. Balazs Orbán, I'm sure your advices will be precious for all of us around this table. You can come here from me, please. First question, it feels like the Hungarian people are more immune to wokeism than other countries in Europe. What is their secret strength for that?
Thank you very much. Bonsoir. Good afternoon. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Bonsoir. We can do it in two ways. I prepare for a speech, and I'm ready to answer questions. It's up to you. I'm fine. Then let's go with your questions because it makes sense. But then I sit down. Sorry for that.
Okay.
So why are you making?
Again.
Yeah, please. So it's like.
So I was asking you.
It's a freedom initiative, so we feel ourselves very free to decide the format.
So I repeat my question.
Yes.
It feels like the Hungarian people are more immune to wokeism than other countries in Europe. What is the secret strength for that?
Secret strength. It's a very good question because some of the people, they call us Hungarians as the mavericks of Europeans. Some others, probably more like the liberals, I call us the boogeymans of Europeans. So if I attend to conferences abroad and I starting my conversation saying that my name is Orbán, I came from Hungary. You know, many people get scared immediately. So we think a lot about why it is the case, and why it is that a 10 million country coming from Central Europe, okay, we are doing better. We have some economic progress. Our military is getting stronger and stronger, but we are not significant in a geopolitical way. Why it is the case that everybody is talking about us? And I think there is one reason behind it. It's because Prime Minister Orbán and the entire conservative right-wing political course in Hungary is dedicated to serve the interest of people, Hungarian people. So we don't care any kind of ideology. We don't see the purpose of politics as working on, as our duty is to work on some utopia which could possibly turn into a dystopia, or we don't see any kind of ideology which should be followed that govern our activities. It's just the other way around. From like centuries, it's deeply decoded in European history, like centuries and even thousands and thousands of years. Politics was about that the leaders should be taking care of those who are under their guidance, and they should be able to protect them, and they should be able to create an environment for them which gives them peace, security, and prosperity, and provides them freedom. This is the job of the politicians. And what happened? We lived under liberal post-communist ruling class for a long time, not just before the transition period, before the Soviets went out, but also after that. We had liberal government for like 8 years before we were elected, and they have done what the liberals are doing all over the world. They ruined the country, and people voted first in favor of us because they wanted to have a country which is successful. They were fed up with with the collapse of the country, collapse of the economy, collapse of the social order, collapse of security. They wanted something else. And then we realized that. And since then, we didn't up. So if you are in power, it does not mean that you have the right to give up the principle that you are there by the people, from the people's will, but you have to follow it. So since 2010, what we're doing is that if civilizational questions, I mean really important historical questions coming into the top of the political discourse, we ask the people what they want. We asked the people in 2016 when 400,000 people try to march across our country and try to cross the borders illegally. We asked the people, we organized the national referendum, what they want. And the overwhelming majority, the people said that they don't want this. They want law and order. They want stopped illegal migration, and they don't want any kind of forced relocation quota or whatsoever from Brussels. So the government duty is to reject that and resist and represent this opinion of an international level, even if it's controversial, even if it's highly attacked by the liberal mainstream. This is the job. And the same with the wokeism. I mean, at the beginning, when we started to talk, when we seen that this thing is coming, because it was obvious that what is going on in the United States and some Western European countries, we started to talk about it in Hungary. And there was an open debate, and when I started to say the word wokeism, because we don't even have an Hungarian word of it. So I also have to use the English word because there is no Hungarian word about it. And I started to talk about wokeism, then an old lady came to me and asked me why I'm talking about the French journal Vogue, what it has to do, the Vogue, the women magazine, with all these crazy things. But then it arrived, and people, even ordinary people, citizens, started to realize that what is coming through Netflix and what is coming through all the digital platforms, that what is pushed by NGOs supported by George Soros, a very talented, famous Hungarian, anyway. But so it's like it's something very scary. And then the government initiated another referendum where more people voted against gender propaganda in schools than supported the accession of Hungary to the European Union. So it's really a huge political victory. And I think the outcome or a takeaway for foreigners from this is that if you turn towards the people, ordinary people, and the silent majority, they will support you. You just have to keep and don't give up the fight. And then history will prove also that you were right. Just think about the migration case. Now all Western European and American cities are suffering of the consequences of mass illegal migration. Our Jewish people are not feel themselves safe on the streets. Meanwhile, in Hungary, where we have zero illegal migration, especially migration which is coming from different civilization, even the Israeli government made the decision that the football games of Israel national team will be held in Hungary, in Felcsút, which is actually the hometown of Viktor Orbán, and he is the president there of the football academy. And Israel, as a national team, will play there because most probably Mossad said that this is the most safe place for Jewish people compared to all the other opportunities. Viktor Orbán's hometown, who was for like 30 years falsely accused of anti-Semitism by the liberals and by the George Soros people all over the world. So bad decisions has very, very bad consequences. You have to stick with the people, together with the people, and then history will prove you wrong. Will prove you are right. This is the Hungarian model.
Can you tell us a bit more? What are the measures that the Hungarian government had chosen to counter the influence of that woke ideology?
Since we have the result of the referendum, our job is a bit more easy. And since we are in government and we have the constitutional majority to amend the constitution, first what we did is we secured our legal system. Because the legal system should be protecting the people, not supporting the spread of woke ideology. So we amended the constitution. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but we have to put in the constitution that the father is a man and the mother is a woman. How ridiculous it sounds, but it's necessary, because from that very first moment, from that moment, it's secured in a constitution. And we banned all NGO activities in kindergartens and in schools. We said, with the consent of the parents, it's free to do whatever the parents want to their children's education, but it cannot be part of the official educational structure. And now we are working on I think the most strict legal framework of protecting our children. So it's a job which is, honestly, it seems that it's never going to finish, because new and new initiatives are coming up and new legal measures are needed to counter them. But the basic idea is that, adult people can do whatever they want. It's not our responsibility to decide. Probably God's responsibility to decide. If they don't believe in God, then it's up to them. But children, dealing with children is different, because the future of the children is the cornerstone and the main pillar of the society. So the government and the state has to do anything which is allowed in a constitutional way to protect them. And this is a kind of a new legal system what we're building up. Obviously, there is a huge scandal in Brussels. They do everything they can to cancel us, to block us. They are supporting openly financially our political opposition. They are withdrawing our money. They are trying to postpone our voting rights, and so on and so on. They are using international courts to fight against Hungarian decisions. But again, it's if 2/3 of the Hungarian people voted in favor of that, then this is the only way how you can act. And honestly, if you are a sovereign country and you take sovereignty seriously, it doesn't matter which international integration you are part of. You have the right to decide, and you have everything, every power and every opportunity to act in accordance. So we would be very happy to see that we are not the only maverick country of the Western world.
Thank you very much, Balazs Orbán.